Hi everyone, so welcome to another Make a Team video. So today we're going to be doing this card, which I have called, well I haven't called it, I did it on a live stream, and we ended up, because I asked for a name for it, and the name that came back was a 6x6 Double Flippen Flappen Card. So that's what it's called. And so it opens up, that's the top view of what it looks like when it's stood up. It's a bit difficult to show you it the right way around, but it's kind of like that. That's kind of what it looks like when it's sort of displayed. I've actually on this one used the Little Red Robin and Friends papers and the decoupage. And it's just very nice indeed. So yeah, so that's the card we're going to do today. So let's get into it. Okay, so the main pieces that you're going to need to score right now is you're going to need one piece that is 2 1/4 by 12. If, like me, you don't have a 12-inch and you've only got like an A4 length, just 1 3/4, we can still use it, it's fine, okay? So it's really not a problem. If you've got a 12-inch length, you're just going to score at 3 inches and 9 inches. If you're using an A4, like I am, you just need to move this end till you're marked up with the 7 8 mark. So then here should be 1/8 of an inch in, that's 1/8 of an inch in, so then it's pretty much central. Then, as soon as you've done that, you can then score at 3 and at 9. Okay, so the idea is you want the middle bit to be 6 inches and these to be equal at the end. And these will end up being 2 7/8 on either side if you get it right. Okay, so that's that piece done. You also need 2 pieces of base card that are 6 by 11. And these you're going to score at 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches and 8 inches. And you can do that on both sheets of card. Little side note, you do want to go for a thinnish base card, matte card and pattern papers. If you don't, which I didn't for my sample card, you'll end up with quite a big bulk. You can probably see that bulk there. Quite a lot of bulk there, so that won't go through the post in the UK. So you just need to make sure that unless you want to pay for postage, extra postage, then you want to make sure that you are doing, you know, relatively thin layers. This here that I've got, I reckon is probably about a 180 GSM, which should be fine. So what we're going to do with these is we've got the 2 4 6 8 and then this is the 3-inch panel. So starting from this side, you want mountain, valley, mountain, valley, and you want to do that on both pieces. Okay, so you should end up with 2 pieces that look like that. Okay, so then what we want to do is just take one of them and turn it around the other way. So you should end up with the 2 3-inch panels on the outside, and then all the 2-inch panels all in the middle. So you've got 2-inch panels here. So that's fine for that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to decorate these panels. In fact, actually, before we do that, we do need a piece of card that is 4 by 6. And again, this is even thinner. This is probably about a 140. But you can go more. But to be honest with you, by the time you finish all your layers, it's not really going to matter. So this is going to go on the front. So I'm going to go and stick this onto here and also onto there, match those two up, and then that's going to just go over the top, and that's just going to make sure this sticks together. So we're going to go ahead now and stick that down. Okay, so at the moment this dips in. I've stuck that down, as you can see. It does dip in a little bit in the middle, but don't worry about that. If yours is the same, don't worry, because by the time, as I said, by the time you've put all your layers on, you're not going to have to worry about that. I think we'll tackle this middle bit first, just so we don't end up with too many dips in it. So for the middle bit here, you're going to need one piece of matte paper, matte card, that is 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. You're going to need another one for the back. And then your pattern piece is 2 1/2 by 5 1/2. Your white piece is 2 1/2 by 5 1/2. One's going to go there and one's gone the back. And I'm actually using the Winter Wonderland Dovecraft paper pack, the 8 by 8, and also the 8 by 8 decoupage pack for this card. I think they're beautiful. I'm actually really pleased with the way, just the little, you know, this little shiny silver stars, how they sort of pop out because of the silver matte. I'm using silver mirror card, and this greeting here is actually from the Little Red Robin and Friends vellum sentiment pack as well. I'll list all of these things in the description below, so make sure you click on the description below and it will take you through to the site where you can get them. So I'm going to go ahead now and stick these down. Okay, so I've stuck that on the back and I've stuck that on the front. So now I need to go ahead and decorate the rest. So you're going to need, for this, you're going to need 2 panels at the ends here. They are both, the matte panel is 2 3/4 by 5 3/4, and the pattern is 2.5 by 5.5, so they're going to go on there. And then you need 6 panels that are going to be 1 3/4 by 5 3/4 for the matte, and 1.5 by 5.5 for the pattern. And they are just going to go on here, 3 on this side and 3 on that side. So I'm going to go ahead now and stick all these down. Okay, so you should end up with that. So I'm just going to fold this. So obviously these are mountains. I'm going to fold the mountains in and then fold those in like that. So that's what it looks like when it's shut down. Now, it's still quite thick, even though I've used really thin base card, because my Miri is relatively thick and this pattern paper is about a 180, I think, or 160, something like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, so it's still, you can see how thick it is. So you really do need to be careful on your layers. So that is that. I think this is why I got called a Flippen Flappen card, because it kind of flips around. Right, so put that to one side, and if we bring in the next bit, which is the 2 by, well, it's 2 1/4 by either 12 or 11 3/4, depending on what you've got. And what we're going to do is just going to mountain fold both of these pieces. So you should end up with that. So now you want to bring in 3 pieces of card. And these need to be, so you've got 2 on the outside that are 2, well the mat is 2 inches by 2 3/4, and the pattern is 1 3/4 by 2.5. And the middle piece, you want 1 piece that is 2 inches by 5 3/4, and the pattern is 1 3/4 by 5.5. So that's going to go on there like that, and then you're going to stick these on. If you've got 12-inch length, then you can just go ahead and stick them on as you would normally do. If you've got an A4-inch length, then what you want to do, because you'll see that there's not enough space at the end, you want to make sure that your borders around these 3 sides here, so where the score line is, and top and bottom where the score line is, are equal. Okay, don't worry if your mat falls off the edge of the base card, because once you stick it on, A, you're not really going to see it, and B, you'll end up with the base card from the card filling in that gap, as it were. So I'm going to go ahead now and stick these down. So you end up with that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and put this on here. Now, you might have noticed on my card, my original card, I've got this piece going down the middle. So if you want to, you can put on another piece down the middle there, which is quite nice. You get kind of like a almost like a cross, like a present. So you can do that. I did that in my live stream that I did as well. On this one, I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it like this, and we're going to see what it looks like. Might decide that I should have put one on later, but I can always add it in later if I need to. But yeah, I decided to leave that out. So if you wanted to do that, you just need another matte piece that is 2 inches by, sorry, a base piece that is 2 inches by 6. And then on top of that, you'd put a mat that's 1 3/4 by 5 3/4, a pattern that's 1.5 by 5.5. So if you want to do that, then that would go in there like that. It's quite nice, but I didn't want to block out that lovely Christmas tree paper. So yes, I'm not going to bother. So what we're going to do is you get your band and you're going to put this flap. So this flap's going to curl round, and it's actually going to fit behind the 3-inch flap. So here's my 3-inch flap. So you can see you've got your concertina, so it's in here is where it's going to go. So it's going to go in there like that. Okay, and it's going to stick against this side here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put them in both sides, stick them in both sides like that. And then if you've got a 12-inch, you might have to trim a tiny fraction off one end or 2 ends just so it will fit. If you've got an A4 length like I have, then you should be okay. Depending on how many layers you've got and how thick your card is, you might have a little bit of room to play with, or might, like me, it might be quite snug. So once you've got it in, just make sure these two edges line up. One's not further over than the other. Just make sure they're pretty much lined up. Make sure top and bottom are pretty much the same, or if not, then just make sure you've got more at the bottom than you have at the top. The other thing as well you could do if you wanted to, you could bring this right down here like that. Have it at the bottom and then have some trees coming out of it. In fact, I might do that for this one. Or similarly, you could have it at the top if you wanted to, like that. And then maybe you could have little snowflakes dangling down. Okay, I've decided that I am going to stick to doing it across the middle because I just think I like it like that. It requires very little decorating then. I haven't got to cut anything else out. And I just think it looks nice. So I'm going to go ahead now and just put this banner bit on, the band across the middle bit. So I like where the position is. It's about central. It's about right. So I'm just going to hold it down. And then on this side, I'm just going to flick this little bit out, fold it over. And then with a pencil, I'm just going to mark down here so that then I can see where I need to put my glue. In fact, I'm not even going to bother with a pencil because I can just go ahead and do it straight away. So either use red tape or use wet glue. And we're just going to come down here like this and just put a big dollop in there like that. Now that's a little bit too much there. I don't want it to go over that edge. I'm just going to bring that in like that. And then we're going to take this band bit, I'm going to lift that up like that, and I'm going to tuck that under and just stick that down, making sure it stays level. And with it being wet glue, you have got a bit of wiggle room time, which is good. And then once that's down, we're going to take this one out like this, fold that one over, do the same again. So I'm just going to go in, I can see where the edge of my card is, so I'm just going to put some glue on there. And then what we're going to do is flip this over like that and stick it down like that. So once that's done, we can then go ahead and add the decoupage on. So as I said before, this is from the decoupage pad, and I'm going to put some foam tape on the back because I want to make sure it doesn't you know, bend and things. Okay, so I'm actually going to use some silicone glue underneath this instead, because then I can choose how you know, bulky it is, because I don't want it to be too bulky because it's already quite bulky. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick this down. Okay, so stuck that down. There's your finished card. So if you stand it up, that's the cross section. And then if you lay it down, oh, trying to show you what it will look like when it's stood up on a mantelpiece. It's going to be something sort of like that, roughly. It's difficult to show you properly because it's yeah. But anyway, it'll be something along those lines. But yes, it's really nice. I like the fact this is free, so you can do what you want with it. Really quite pretty. If I just put this up here like this, you can sort of see. Yeah, it won't allow me to show you properly, but you'll see on the photo what it looks like. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed today. Obviously, as I say, it folds down to fit in a 6x6 envelope, so you're, you know, sorted for postage and that, as long as you don't make it too thick. But yes, I hope you enjoyed it. Please go and check out the DRK website for more details of the products. Obviously, check the description below. There'll be links in there to take you straight through to the products. And please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Please share this video with friends as well, and leave a comment down below. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.